Most of us know how much money we are expecting to have coming in over any given period of time. But do you have a plan in place on where it goes once you have it? Or even fully know where it goes? How much will you be able to save or invest? And how much can you afford to spend on yourself? Let's have a look at spending trackings and budgeting together. And please remember, nothing I say in this video is considered financial advice. While there are many methods to earning money, there are two different methods that the majority of us fall into either one or both. The first of this is freelancing, or by working on a job-to-job basis. Data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics shows that over the past 5 years, the number of people working in the gig economy has continued to increase. This increase saw peaks throughout the pandemic. However, there are still many people who choose the flexibility of freelance work. The other way many people make money is through various types of employment. Regardless of the type of employment or how you work your gigs, most of us are able to approximate how much money we will be receiving over any given pay period, given a week, a fortnight, or even a month. One of the fundamental steps early in our financial journey is to reduce unnecessary spendings. While we have an overview of how we spend our money, many of us greatly underestimate our spendings in different areas. Reduced levels of use of cash and increased payments through cards, phones, or other wearables has increased this trend. There is no longer a psychological connection to physically handing over your larger denominations of cash only to receive a small amount of change, or no change at all. Before we can make a budget that we can use to form a strategy to achieve our financial goals, we must first have a clear understanding of how we spend our money. Now, it is important to understand that everyone is different, and so are their spending habits and spending needs. Just because someone spends different levels of money in one area compared with you does not make either of you wrong. This comes back to our "No, there is no one-size-fits-all" section from our Hard Truths of Finance video. I'll post a link of that in the description for you to watch later. It is important that we do not compare our financial journey with others. We need to budget according to our own circumstances and our own needs. There are many different ways to get an accurate track on our spending habits. The increased use of cashless transactions means that most of our spending habits are shown on our banking statements. In order to get a good track on our spending habits, it is a good idea to have 3 months of spending tracked. This means that larger bills like utilities will also be included in this tracking. Using bank statements to do this can take a long time to categorize all the spendings. If you have multiple accounts, and you most definitely should, this means that you'll have to go through this process multiple times. A way that we can help make this process easier for us is to use spending tracker apps. Many banks have built-in spending tracker apps of their own. However, some of the non-bank related apps offer greater levels of flexibility in categories. Apps such as Pocketbook or Money Manager and Expenses allow you to customize different categories. This is a very useful function to have when it comes to building our budgets. Once you have downloaded your selected app, all you need to do is link your accounts to it. The apps will then categorize every expense you make over the 3 months, and will even show you increases or decreases in different categories. Sometimes just being shown how much money we are spending on different things can be a big wake-up call for us. The first time I had a professional look at my own spending, they quickly highlighted the unnecessary amounts of money I was spending on coffee and takeaway foods at work. Once you have collected 3 months of categorized spending habits, you can build your budget. Many people often fail to budget for 2 reasons. The first is that they are not honest with themselves about how much is required for different categories. It took me 3 attempts at doing this step before I got it right, and that was even when I had some of my spending tracker data. One of the other issues I had when beginning to do my budgeting was that I was working off a best case scenario. Yes, I may have been spending $80 per fortnight on fuel, but this was when fuel was at its lowest price that we had not seen in months, so it was not a realistic figure for me to put in my budget. This then resulted in that part of my budget blowing out. The psychological effect of seeing our budget blow out causes many people to question if they can achieve their financial goals. The next reason many people fail is that they view the budget as a negative thing. They view a budget as something that tells them what they are doing wrong or where they can't spend their own money. A budget should always be viewed as what it is, a tool that identifies where our money is going. If you have followed the steps to building a budget correctly, a budget should never feel like it constrains us. It is also important to pay ourselves when we are building our budget. If there is something that we regularly undertake that improves our ability to continue our finance journey, this should be included in our budget. If we are viewing our budget purely by numbers, then this would not be optimal. But we're not machines, so we're often not optimal. The psychological benefits of us being able to continue spending small amounts of money on things for us have been shown to offset the financial downsides of this spending. Once you have an accurate idea of what your spendings look like, it is time to put your budget together. Now, a budget can be as simple or as complex as you like. It can be something that is written down on a piece of paper, or you can use spreadsheets with formulas to calculate and highlight data. No two budgets will ever look alike. There will be some similarities though. Everyone's budget will always include spending on things that we need for our day-to-day lives. These fixed cost expenses can include things like food, rent or mortgage payments, healthcare costs, and transportation costs, just to mention a few. We also need to remember that making a budget should not be a set and forget exercise. Our circumstances can change on a regular basis. This means that so will different expenses on the area of your budget. The cost of electricity may have increased in the recent quarter, or you may have downsized to only have a single car between you and a partner. This is why it is a good habit to get into of reviewing your budget on a regular basis. By doing this, we are making sure that our strategy is still valid for our income and expenses. But it also highlights areas for us that we can potentially reduce our spendings. If your internet provider has increased the cost of your plan, reviewing your budget can highlight that it might be time to look for a different provider. So now that we have gone over how to check our spendings and how to correctly set up our budgets, we're able to set ourselves up to achieve our financial goals that we have set for our financial journey. Giving ourselves the best possible start to achieving these goals is one of the strongest things we can do for our journey. So, let's start off on the right foot. If you have found this video helpful, please subscribe to Forever Finance so that you will know the moment more helpful videos are uploaded. If you have something that you would like to see us cover, please leave a comment below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we'll see you all next time.